Hello everyone, today I will talk about an important event that happened during the 17th century, the English Civil War. English Civil War happened between 1642 and 1651. It was between the supporters of the King Charles I and the supporters of Parliament led by Oliver Cromwell. Charles I came to British throne in 1625. Charles believed in the divine right of kings, which means kings were chosen by God, so their authority couldn't be challenged by anyone on earth. When Parliament rejected several requests for money from Charles the King became furious. From 1629 to 1640, Charles I ruled the kingdom without calling Parliament at all. At this time, he imposed heavy taxes, which made the people support Parliament even more. And most of the nobles also began to worry that Charles had found a way to rule the country as the kings had done in France and Spain at that time, with total authority and without being bound by any law. Most of the members of Parliament were Lutherans. Lutherans was a group of strict Protestant. The country at that time divided into two groups, Royalists who supported King Charles and Parliamentarians who supported the Lutherans, members of Parliament. In 1641, Parliament insists that the king makes religious reforms and replace his ministers. Charles, of course, refused, and in 1642, he forced his way into the House of Commons, trying to arrest 5 members of Parliament, but the men had already fled. After that, both sides began to gather their armies. The parliamentary army were nicknamed Roundheads by their enemies because they cut their hair very short, and King's army called Cavaliers. In 1644, the Scots joined the Roundheads. The King's army were led by nobles who weren't always experienced in warfare, but the Cromwell's army were stronger and better organized. By 1646, Charles realized that he was in danger. However, he went to the Scots hoping to make a deal with them. But unfortunately, in January 1647, they handed the king over to the Parliament. Charles was tried and charged with war against his own people. He was executed in 1649. In 1653, Cromwell became a lord ruling England in the place of a king. Cromwell tried to bring in military rule and impose strict Puritan ideals on the British people. Many people weren't happy with his rule. 2 years after he died in 1658, and the monarchy was restored. And that was a brief explanation for that important event, and thank you. غادة الثباتي.